darlings, and welcome back to my makeup garden. It's Liz. Hello. So today we're going to be doing a 3 looks video using the Simply Posh Cosmetics Cozy Cabin palette. So this palette here, it has 12 mattes and 6 textured shimmers. And let me go ahead and insert some swatches here. Swatching, and we're back. Hello. So if you want to see how I created this look that I'm wearing today and 2 others, then please stick around. Darling, so for this first look using the Simply Posh Cozy Cabin palette, I'm thinking I really want to lean into like these warm tones here. So maybe like this 9 of the palette. So let's go ahead and go in. Let me grab a brush and we're going to go into, oh, this yellow shade is really pretty. So let's go into the shade here and we're going to go ahead and put this in the crease, and we're going to start in the crease today. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to do one eye at a time. Like I'll do one eye and then I'll do the other eye and come back. Okay. So this shade is called Tradition, and it is very much a like bright, warm, pumpkin-y orange. We're just going to take that and we're going to place it in my crease here. So I have used this palette before. This is probably my 3rd or 4th time using it now. So I already know that I really like this formula of matte. I do have a mirror down here, so I am looking down into a mirror. I'm actually looking down into the mirror of the palette. Hold on. Excuse you, laptop. And it does have a nice mirror. So, okay. God, that orange is just so good. Look how good this orange is. Ah! Listen, I know this color story is like fall into winter. So if you look at it, you very much have fall and then you have winter. Obviously, you can use it for spring as well, but any season. It doesn't have to have a season, but if you break down like the 9 pans that are in here, you have more of a cool tone winter and then you have a warm tone fall. So FYI. Okay, so that color went on smashingly. Okay, so let's grab a little bit of a bigger brush. I'm going to grab this Glam Light blending brush here. This is from Michaela Part 2, and this is the 01 brush. And I'm going to go into this yellow-orange color called Stalking. And I'm just going to blend out that color, the orange with it. I'm just going to place this in my transition. I think this is going to like diffuse it really beautifully. And let me do this into the camera so you can actually see, not just me. Yeah, that's blending really nicely. Oh, it's pretty. It's real pretty and it's orange. If you've been around here, you do know I love an orange eyeshadow. I always get really excited for like yellowy orange type shades, but I love all kinds of orange colors. So, all right. I just think I have more warm tone skin, and I just think that it, like neutral warm, and it just looks so good on that. All right, do I want to build that color up some more? I'm satisfied with the blend, but I kind of want a little bit more of that yellow orange color. So let's tiapa. Oh yeah. Oh yes, my friends, oh yes. That is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. So for the next color, I kind of want to deepen up the crease and the outer corner with this really pretty, like medium deep, it's called Fireplace. And it's kind of like that brick red. I wanted to say medium deep, but I was like, no, that's not the right adjective. So we're going to go into Fireplace, and I'm going to use this BK Beauty brush. This is their 205, and it's kind of like an angled eyeshadow brush, but I think it'll be fine for this. So let's go ahead and, oh yes, my friends, this is cute. And I'm just tapping gently because I don't want to cover up that bright orange, but I do want to add to it. Oh, I love how this is coming together. We are going for warm and cozy. Ah. See what I did there? Okay. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna place some of this on my inner corner as well, just because I actually, even though I'm not, well, was I gonna do a spotlight? No, but I could. I was going to just do a regular look, but honestly, I think a spotlight with these colors would be so pretty. Temptation. Okay. Honestly, this angled, kind of fluffier shadow brush did a really good job of putting it where exactly I wanted it. So I'm not mad at that at all. All right, let's put on an eye base. So I know that I like this. I like this formula already. But I know that I prefer Simply Posh's shimmers with an eye base. So we are going to use one. I'm using this Specular eyeshadow glitter base for the shimmers. So I tap that right here in the center of my lid. And I prefer to put my shadows on with my finger and not a brush. So that's what I'm going to plan to do, okay? So I'm really tempted to put the shade Candy Cane Lane all over my lid and then use this for highlight. So I think that's the route that we're going to take in this. So I'm going to place Candy Cane Lane all over my lid. Oh, it's so pretty. Like the orange. I don't know that I even need another shimmer, honestly. Maybe we'll put the other one in the center, like in our inner corner, maybe. Oh my goodness. That is so, so pretty. Do we need anything else? I don't think we need anything else. God, this shade Candy Cane Lane. Yeah, it's called Candy Cane. Sorry, not Candy Cane Lane. Candy Cane. Real pretty. Oh, this is just so pretty. And it's so easy. We use like 4 shadows. We used 4 shadows for this so far. Now, I could stop there. But am I going to? No, probably not. So let's place the shade Festive here on the inner corner as an inner corner highlight. And we're going to go ahead and just add a little zhuzh, add a little something to it. So I am going to use this BK Beauty brush. This is a 204. And we're going to go into Festive here, which is just like a bright pinky gold. And I say pinky because it's like got a green gold pink shift. And I think that will play nicely with the vibe that we're going for here. Just going to place that in the inner corner there. Yeah, that's pretty. It's light enough too. Like I wasn't sure if it was going to be quite light enough for what I was like going for, but it is. Here. Pretty. I like to bring mine up a little bit, but I don't want to do that too much in this look because I don't want it to take away from the overall aesthetic that we're getting here. But I am digging this. So let me go ahead and do the other eye and I will come right back. And I am going to put mascara and lashes on. So then we'll work on the lower lash line. Okay, right, darlings. So lashes are on and we could leave the look like this, but I do want to add just a little more of something. These are the Ardell Demi Wispies and this one looks fuller than this one. And I think it's actually the lash itself. So woo, inconsistency. But I think I want to go into this shade here. I think this would just make for a really pretty waterline color. I purposefully did not put anything in my waterline. So we're going to go into the shade Chimney and we're going to put that as like an eyeliner on my waterline here. So I do think that this palette, hold on, let me remove this. Yep. Let me go ahead and remove that and we'll get to it. So I think that this brown is just really pretty. It's kind of like a neutral brown. It's not too warm, but it's also not that cool. So, and then what are we gonna do for our lower lash line? I kind of want to keep it light because it is the middle of the day right now. So there's a little bit of fallout with that shade. Nothing too crazy. Honestly, I've been really impressed at how little fallout there is in this palette. So there, even on the darker shades, There's a little bit, but it's not anything like too crazy. So a little bit there. So on the lower lash line, I want to stay in the warm tones. I kind of want to keep it light, and I think I just want to stick with the brown and maybe go with this one here that's called Hot Chocolate. And I'm just going to use this Devinah brush here. I think this is probably a little bit too big, but it is flat and it's kind of narrow. So I think it'll be okay for that. And we're just going to put a little bit of this on the lower lash line. Not anything too crazy. I think it's going to end up blending with the remnants of that brown and just be kind of nice, you know? I don't like to do too much on my lower lash line just because I feel like my eyes look bigger when I don't take up my cheek space with eyeshadow. So, makes me feel more balanced. All right. Yeah, I think they just added just a little something, just a little bit of like neutrality, a little bit of shading, we'll call it. Okay, and I think, darlings, that this is going to be the completed look. What do you think? Let me zoom in for you. I think it came out really pretty. Now my lighting has changed a lot since I've been sitting here even, and it hasn't been that long. But I just think that it came out really pretty. This orange color is just, this one, right here, that one, Candy Cane. Oh, it's like a golden light orange. It's just really pretty. I just really like it. Now, I did not put a lot of this on. It is more subtle on the lower lash line, but that's actually what I want. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, I just think it came out really pretty. So that's it for this first look. Let's move on to the next one. And yeah, see this lashes. Oh, it's gonna make me crazy. Okay, see you in the next one. All right, darling. So for look number 2, using Cozy Cabin, I think I want to go into these cooler tones here. This green, these greens, they're kind of calling my name. I think this would be pretty in the transition as well. So why don't, or this, we could do that in the transition. I think that would actually go well with this. So let's do that. So like I said, I've used this palette 4 or 5 times now. Actually, I think I've probably used it like 6 times at this point. And so far, I've really enjoyed every look that I've made. So I'm gonna grab this Artitude blending brush. This one's a tapered, it's a little bit bigger though. And I'm gonna go into this shade here called Hot Chocolate. And we're gonna use that in the transition. And let's just, or do I wanna do the green? Let's do the green. Let's do Mistletoe, which is actually this one here. So, which by the way, mistletoe as a plant itself has very dark leaves. The more you know. Okay, so let's go ahead. I do have some remnant lash glue on my lashes, so if you notice that, you know, sorry. But I was not able to get it all off when I took my lashes off very late last night. So that is going to be a later today problem. We're not going to put lashes on with this look. I think looks always benefit from them, especially eyeshadow looks, but we're just not going to do that. Okay. My lashes for sure need a break, for sure. Okay, I think that loaded on really nicely. For the next shade, I'm thinking that I really want to go into Cabin here and put this in my crease and my outer corner here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm really feeling these greens today. I think they're just calling my name, and I kind of have to. So now I'm using an Artitude brush. It doesn't have a name on it, but it came with their Maneater Untamed collection. And I actually don't think this is the right brush for this, but my favorite brushes to use are all dirty, so I'm going into like the bottom of the bin kind of a thing. So, all right. Where is the pigment? Where are you? Let's try tapping. Right away, this shade is not showing up well. I am using a Blend Bunny brush, which is like a tried and true brush. Let's try a different one. Right away, that color is not showing up well. Okay. So this is definitely better. Not sure why, no, still not great. It's like it's disappearing. Don't love that. Now I do have regular, I don't wear a primer on my lashes, like on my lids a lot, but there's like no pigment in this shade, and it's almost like the pigment is wiping away, which is strange for sure. Don't love that. Okay. That's not really showing up. Not sure why. Let's try it on the other eye. See what happens. Really not much there, in terms of pigment on the shade. Not sure why. That is, without a primer, the shade Cabin, which is this green color here. It's a lost cabin in the woods. Okay, let's try it again on this side. I am really loading up my brush. So not the most pigmented shade. Don't love that. This color's not performing well for me. Now I don't know how it'll perform with a primer, but I like to test formulas without a primer, especially mattes. Like, I never have an issue with matte, very rarely. And when I do, it's usually a formula issue. Okay, so right away, this shade is not, it's not all that in a bag of potato chips, okay? Let's just put it that way. And there is fallout because I've had to load up my brush. Like, it's not it. Okay. Let's go into the shimmers, I think, and we'll see how the mattes layer on top of the shimmers. But let's go into the shimmers. Let's see if we can't pull things together. That's very disappointing because I actually really love a green eye. If you know, you've been here. I love a green eyeshadow look. So for that green to not perform is disappointing, to say the least. Okay. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I might try to be optimistic at first, because that's just like my natural disposition. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That green ain't it. I used the Specular Eye Base by Devinah, because that's what I've been using lately. Okay, so we're gonna go into the shade here, Pine, and we're gonna put that all over the lid. That's what I want on my eyeball today. So let's see. It's a really pretty color. This green is interesting. It's green. It's like a light green, but it almost has like blue in it. I just think it's really pretty. Okay. It's pretty. It's a pretty green. Now, I'm not sure if these pans are gonna hard pan or not using my finger. I do notice that they are textured shimmers, and they're soft, but they're not like putty. So I'm just curious if they're gonna hard pan. There is like a certain feeling, like in shadows, like there's a certain feeling that I get when I encounter shades that hard pan. And I'm really curious if these are gonna do that because they have that texture when you touch them. Now, that's not always it's not a super big deal to me because I use my fingers. The oils in your fingers react in some formulas, and this might just be one of those formulas. Shimmers are almost always, more guaranteed with a brush, but I really just like the impact that I get from using my finger. So that's kind of a risk you take with that. All right, so we're gonna go back into the shade Cabin here, and we're gonna see if we can add a little bit of definition now that I have shimmers kind of all over the place on my lid. We're gonna see if I can't add a little bit of color or deepen the outer corner with that shade again. Let's see. So this side isn't as bad as the other side. Mainly because I think there was a little bit of a film on the green when I first started using it. And I think we've broken through that, but I think it's just okay. I think there was definitely a film on it. It does seem to be doing better than it was when I first dipped my brush in, but see if it'll build up on this side now. Okay. I do feel like I am using more to kind of get the desired effect of what I want, but like I said, I think there may have just been a film on the thing. I don't think this green is the end all be all though. It's not all that in a bag of potato chips, and yeah. All right, I'm gonna go back into mistletoe because I just wanna add a little bit more of that in the transition here. Just because I feel like because I had to work that olive green cabin so much, I feel like it kind of got a little bit muddled. Okay, now let me clean up this fallout and we'll do something on the inner corner. Okay, so I think on the inner corner, do we want to do yellow or do we want to try to do this light blue? I don't think this is quite light enough. I think this color might be a good inner corner for that just because it's a little bit shiftier. So we're gonna go into festive because it does kind of have those undercurrents of like pinks and greens. I think in terms of like shifty shades, it's a good choice, but it's not exactly what I was like wanting. This is not the right brush for this. And honestly, I don't know if that color is the right color. Let's see. We're gonna try it though. Like it's better than nothing, but I don't think it works with this look as well. Maybe I will dip into just a highlighter or something. Honestly, I kind of wish there was like a little bit lighter of a matte in here because I do feel like that's kind of missing, something that you can use for an inner corner shade or maybe like an iridescent shade that would go with these colors would have been a better choice just because I like to do an inner corner highlight. So that's just a matter of my preference, but okay. So I think on the lower lash line, I think I kind of want to go into, these purples, or we could do the blues. Why don't we try to do the blues? So let's go into Snowfall, and we're going to place that on the outer lower lash line and just see if that has like, if it's streamlined or if it has like smooth pigmentation. Let's go. So we're going to place that on the lower lash line here. I don't like to go crazy with my lower lash line. You know, it's not an area of my eye that I feel like I really need to put a lot of stuff on. So I like it to be a little more subtle. But this color is really pretty. It does seem to be like a good true to real life kind of blue. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, okay. And I am going to go into the shade here. Now, there was a little bit of kick up with Snowfall, but it wasn't anything too bad. I do notice that these pans, these colors, in terms of kick up, really not bad. They I think are a little bit harder pressed. But I don't mind. Like, I don't feel like it's a bad thing. It prevents them from being messy, but still gives you pigmentation on the brush. Okay, let me go ahead and put on some liner and some lashes, and then I will be right back. Okay, so mascara is on. I just put some black eyeliner in my tight line up there, but I kind of don't like the balance of this. I feel like it's like oddly unbalanced. I kind of want to take that shade Snowfall, that dark blue, and I kind of want to turn that into like kind of a, not a full siren's wing, but something that like, oh, my AC's going on. And that kind of comes up. So I think I'm going to take this flat brush. Looks like a little paintbrush. And I think I'm just going to tap it up like this into a wing. And then bring it over like this. Just so that it's, you know, I don't know, more like a wing and less like I don't know, it just feels unbalanced for what my preferences are. So I'm kind of tempted to cover up that green with it. But like I said, I don't want it to be like a full wing, but I just kind of want it to be more balanced. And I think we are going to add some shimmer. And I'm just taking it, literally just pressing it and then going over like that. It's not exact, but it feels better. You know what I mean? Like, it feels more even to me. I don't know. I just wasn't digging that unbalance there. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put something in my tight line. Not my tight line, I'm sorry, my water line. Forgot to put something in my water line. So let's see what we can do about that. Oops. Let me put, what do I want? I kind of want to put something in my lower lash line there, but I don't see a color on here that I think is going to be a good fit. Maybe we'll try to put Cabin there. Let's try to put Cabin there, shall we? Let's see if that's going to work. I think that'll be a good test for it because it's already on my eyes. So let's see if we can tie it all together with a little bit of Cabin there. This is not the best brush to be doing with this with, but I already have it in my hand and it's already dirty. I need to wash my brushes, so. Okay. It's a little something. It kind of takes the edge off of that like fleshy color of my lower lash line, so. Oh, too far. Okay. All right. It's a little something. It's a little something. The problem is I'm going to keep messing with this. I want to keep messing with this, but honestly, I think it's just okay. The blue came out really pretty. I like the blues. I really like that green. The green that I used in the transition worked fine. Pretty much every other shade worked fine except for the shade Cabin, which is that one. That's the one I just put in my water line. That, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so this is a completed, we're just gonna call this the completed look number 2. I think it came together. That shade Cabin, that dark green, it's not it, you know? We can't win them all sometimes, so let's move on to look number 3. Oh, and in the shade, we ended up using, see, 1, 2, 3, 4 shades, 5 if you count Wish List, which is this blue, but I don't feel like we really used that shade much. I guess I could use it some more, honestly. Like, I think maybe that'll diffuse it a little. I just don't usually like my lower lash line to come down this far. It's just preference for me. But I don't know. I can't say we really used Wish List. So we've used every shade in this palette so far, just in the first 2 looks, except for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Except for 5 shades. So maybe on the next look, we'll try to put those 5 shades together somehow and kind of blend the warm and the cool and see what happens. Okay, on to the next one. All right, darlings, so for this third and final look using Simply Posh Cozy Cabin, let's go into these purples here. I think the only shades that I haven't used in this palette so far are these here, and then this peach, I think. Yeah, I think this one. So we're gonna try to use those in this look today, and you know, we'll probably just keep it kind of simple. Let me grab my brush because I kind of have everything on this desk right now. So I washed my brushes. So let's grab one. So I think we're gonna start by going into this shade here, Wintry, and we're gonna apply this in the crease. And I think that's where we're gonna start today. I really wanna use these purples because they're very pretty, like cool toned purples. And oh, look how pretty that is on the eye. I am using this BK Beauty 202. It's just an all-around good brush, so I do want to use it for that tapered end. Makes it really easy to get in the crease, which is nice. There is some kickback in this pan. It's not too messy, but there is a little bit. So, all right, let's apply that here. Very nice. Okay, and I kind of want to sweep this all the way in. I think we're just going to do kind of a standard eyeshadow look, but okay, well that is pigmented. It's not too pigmented to where it's hard to blend, but it's pigmented enough to show up, and it's very much like a periwinkle kind of purple, which is pretty. Now, I think if you have a lot of yellow in your skin, you might find this color makes you look bruised just because of the tone. I can't speak for you, but without a primer, I could see that happening. Okay, so that's really pretty. Let's do the other eye. Okay, so I think that's pretty even. So I'm gonna go into this BK201 here, and we're gonna go into the shade Sleigh Bells here. And I really just kind of want to buff this shade out just a little bit and then add a little bit of blending with that shade. So I'm gonna take it in its clean form, nothing on it. I'm gonna buff that just a little bit just to try to soften. And then we're gonna take this same brush and go into Sleigh Bells. Now I am not wearing a primer on my eyes because y'all know I don't want to. So if I can help it, I don't. With the exception of glitter primer because your girl don't want a bunch of fallout all over her face. So just softening that up just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going into Sleigh Bells here now. So this shade is very tonally, like if we're going like hue wise, they have like the same like gray kind of undercurrent. This is just a lighter hue of it. So is that right? I'm trying to remember my color theory. My art history class with the color theory. Okay, we're just gonna use this to soften up that and just blend a little bit. So at this point, I've used all of the shades in here, and for the most part, everything has performed really nicely, with the exception of this shade here, Cabin. I found this shade hard to work with, but everything else has been really nice so far. So I'm pretty excited about that. I do wish that foresty green shade was just a smidge better, but what can you do? Can't win them all. Okay. I think that is really pretty, and it makes my eyes look very brown. Like these colors make my eyes look really brown. Okay, so let's do the lid. So I think we're gonna go ahead, let's go ahead and apply some glitter primer because I happen to know that that's my preference. So let me grab it. Where is it at? The Specular. This one's by Devinah. I have been using this particular primer a fair bit. I think I'm gonna apply it with a brush today. So when I reach for a glitter primer, this is the one that I've been reaching for. It's a nice formula. It's like a little bit tackier, I think, than the Devinah or than the NYX glitter primer. And it's not that much more expensive. I think it's like $10 versus like $6 for the NYX glitter primer. Actually, I think the NYX glitter primer went up again. I think it's closer to $8 now. So holy cannoli, you know? But that NYX glitter primer has been my go-to for a long time. Basically since I started using a glitter primer. But for shades that are shifty and just honestly for shadows in general, if you want the most pop for your buck, then definitely use a glitter primer. Okay, nice and tacky, nice and on there. Let's go ahead into this shade here. And I kind of want to do an ombre look on the lid itself. So maybe we'll use this shade here, which is called Lights, and it's really shifty, very pretty. We're gonna use that on the inner part, and we're gonna use this on the rest of the lid. And I think that's gonna be nice. So let me grab a brush. This one is by Billion Dollar Brushes. The last one was by Cleona. It's just a flat brush. We're gonna use this to pick up the shade Lights, which is this shifty, lighter shade here, and we're gonna place it on the inner third of the eye here. Now, normally I like to apply my shimmers with my finger because that's what you get the most vibrancy from. But because this is the inner corner, I want to make sure that I'm using a brush to kind of get in there and put that shade down, and then I can go back over it with my finger after. So the denser the brush that you use, the more color payoff you're going to get from your shimmer, because more product is making its way onto your eye. Okay, let's see. That's just been my experience and, you know, what I've read, because I'm not a makeup artist, I'm an enthusiast, but I really like putting sparkly things on my face. And so it helps to do a little bit of reading. What I don't know, I can try to Google. Try being the operative word. Okay, very pretty. I like this a lot, but I do like it better with my finger. So I think now that that is on, I'm gonna go back in and see if I can use that shade a little bit to make it, what's the word I'm looking at, more saturated. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. See, it's just so pretty. I actually like to bring mine up just a little bit higher, not too high, but just to kind of give a little bit. You can see more of it when it's a little higher because I do have deeper folds on my eyes. So I don't want it to just disappear into the void. Okay. This is pretty. All right. So I think I made a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. I'm not perfect. I'm just gonna fix that with the brush. Okay, there we go. You could spray your brush if you don't want to buy a glitter primer. You could spray your brush to also get that effect. Okay, so let's go into the shade here. This is called Angel. Now this is a little bit softer pressed than the other ones in the palette. So I expect that there will be more on my finger. Yeah, oh, look how pretty that is though. Ooh, bitch. Y'all know. Oh, very pretty. This one does have, it's more of a textured shimmer. So if you don't like textured shimmers, you probably won't like this, but it is more of a textured shimmer, but it's got like these little pink reflective sparkles, and I'm just gonna tap that into the first shade there. But yeah, that's really pretty. I like that a lot. Okay. I almost feel like I need a little bit more depth on the outer corner of this. So maybe we'll go back and we'll add a little bit of that dark blue just to kind of deepen it up a little bit. This is very much like a mid-tone purple. It's not a deep purple, but that periwinkle purple is actually really pretty. It's called Wintry. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. I do kind of feel like I need a little bit of depth. So I'm gonna go into Snowfall here, and I'm just gonna take a smaller, we're just gonna go, actually, you know what, we could use that first BK brush even. Let's go into that first BK brush. I'm just gonna dip into Snowfall here. There is a little bit of Wintry left on the brush. We're just gonna add just a little bit of depth to the outer corner. Just tap a little bit on into this outer V here. I don't want it to be too dark, but I do want a little bit more contrast. Okay, yeah, I like that. It's not quite as blended as it was, but that's okay. We'll try to sort it. Okay. That blue is really pretty. God, I love a good blue. Okay. Buff that out just a little bit. Okay. So let's do the lower lash line. So I'm thinking I'm gonna take this Blend Bunny brush here, and I'm gonna go into this pink color here. It's called Cozy, and it's very much like a peachy pink. And I think this brush, this is a B1 from Blend Bunny, is gonna be narrow enough at the end to kind of give me that softness that I want, but still, like, I don't like, this is very subtle. Let me see. Now this one seems to be a little bit harder pressed than the other ones that are in the pan. There it is, okay. It's just getting that initial thing going, okay. Now I don't know, I kind of want to use Festive on the inner corner. I'm not seeing a very light shade, like a super light shade, in this palette to use on the inner corner, because this is like the lightest of the cool tones that's in here. So I may reach into my Blend Bunny, my Noctilucent palette, just to try to give me that little pop on the inner corner. Okay, so let's see what I have in there. Okay, I think that's enough of the peach. I actually really like this peach color. I think for a really pretty one and done look, this peach would be like fire. Okay, so let's go into Noctilucent. I want a little bit of lightness on the inner corner, and I think I'm gonna go, let's go this way. Let's go this one. This one is called Apparition. And so let's add that to the inner corner just for a little pop of highlight. And then I will pop off camera and I will do lashes and liner and all that and then come right back. But so this is Apparition, and see, this is just like a really nice, light, bright, like highlighter moment. And I think that's perfect for what I wanted. The color, this color goes really well with the tones that are here, which is nice. I do love it when my palettes play together nicely. So, all right. Okay, much better for what I was after. Let me go ahead and do liner and lashes, like mascara, all that, and I will be right back with the completed look. All right, so here is the completed look number 3 using Simply Posh Cozy Cabin. So I really like how it came out. There's something really pretty, just kind of about a more simple mid-tone eyeshadow look. I just think it's really pretty. But yeah, I like this look a lot. So let's talk about Cozy Cabin, okay? So for the money, honestly, great. It's a great palette overall. I like this a lot. I think this color story translates well from fall into winter, but honestly, I'm gonna use it all year long because that's kind of how I do. I'm not just a seasonal makeup user. I like stuff all year long. But if you think about things in terms of season, this is very like summer, fall, and this is very, honestly, it's good all year long. It's good all year long. These are really pretty. I like them a lot. They are more textured, especially like this one. But yeah, actually, I would say most of these shimmers are more textured shimmers, and I actually like that. So I do have texture on my eyes anyway, so I might as well get some sparkle, razzle-madazzle out of it. But yeah, I think this palette is really pretty. I think it's lacking a light matte for the inner corner, but that's just my preference. So I prefer when a palette goes from light to dark, both in shimmer and in matte. So this does have some nice, but these are still a little bit on the darker end, but I think it's cohesive, it's beautiful, I really like it. I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this. So for me, it's worth every penny, especially this orange. Oh, I love it. This green was a little but everything else seemed to perform really well. Now this, I'm not sure how well this is gonna stay. Like I put very little on my under eye, like just enough for a little tinge of pink. So I'm not sure how that's gonna wear, but the rest of it is really pretty. I like it a lot. Worth it, totes worth it. 100% happy with my purchase, love this. Yeah, I would buy again. So it's like this, oh my God, this shade on the eyes, oh, just, I'm such a sucker for like a good orange, especially like a light orange shimmer. Oh yeah, it's my jam. But it's beautiful, I like this a lot. So thank you for watching. Did you pick up the Simply Posh Cozy Cabin palette? I like this a lot. I guess, like I said, with the exception of that green, that's a little bit harder to work with, but everything else performed beautifully. This is great. I'm happy about it. So anyway, thank you for watching and for watching my 3 looks video. Tell me which was your favorite, 1, 2, or 3. That one. And yeah, I don't do these 3 looks videos very often because they're a lot of work, but I figured this was worth it. You know, honestly, this eye looks better than that eye, but like, isn't that how it always is? It is for me. Anyway, I love your faces and I will catch you on the next one. Leave me your favorite emoji right now and tell me if you picked this up, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye. Oh my God, what is this, like the 90s?